Hello, it's been a while since I made a video. So I decided to make one from a request. One of my viewers asked if I could make a video for a simple pair, a small pair of earrings. So I've decided to show you how to make these diamond earrings. This is my pair. I've worn it quite a bit, and they are made in charcoal grey, so quite a dark color, and they have been stiffened a little bit. I don't always stiffen my tatting, but I often do for earrings because I find they keep their shapes better when worn. So you just use a little bit of PVA glue diluted with water, you know, white glue diluted with water, and then you just brush it on or dab it on with your finger, making sure that the glue is into the fiber of the thread. And then you know, with a paper towel, just dab the excess off and then leave them to dry. And as you can see, these just, they're not too stiff, so they're not rigid. They're still soft, but they keep their shape. So I think that works out very nicely. So here's another pair I've made and I've worn also, but I don't know if you can see, but these are not stiffened and they're curling up a little bit. So I think I will stiffen these as well when I get around to it. And it's just another idea of what you can do. On these I added a little bead at the bottom of the diamond. And there's one last pair here, a little light blue pair, and these are attached to the earring finding with a jump ring, and this is what I'm going to do today. I do like using a jump ring because then it prevents the thread, because these are attached just to the picot, so this prevents the thread fraying against the earring finding when you wear them. So I think they're just longer lasting, and I also think they move nicely when they're attached with a jump ring like this. So all you need to make these earrings is one shuttle and a ball of thread, and you leave the shuttle, you wind your shuttle and leave it attached to your ball of thread. The pattern for these earrings is written in the information box below this video, so you can just have a look at it and follow along. It's quite simple, so it doesn't take much to memorize it. So we're going to start. So it's basically a repeat, 4 times repeated the same thing. So it's 4 trefoils joined with chains in between. So the first ring has 3 picots separated by 3 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and a small picot. 1, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, and the last picot, and 3 stitches to complete the ring. 3, and close the ring. The next ring is 3 stitches joined to the last picot of the previous ring, 5 stitches picot, 5 stitches picot, 3 stitches. So always make sure you pull your first half stitch very close to the previous work, so there are no gaps anywhere. 1, 2, 3, and join. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 5. So it's 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a picot, and 3 stitches to complete the ring. 2, 3. Close the ring like this. And now the third ring is a repeat of the first ring. 1, 2, 3, and join. 1, 2, 3, a picot. And I tend to make my picots fairly small. 3 and a picot, and the last 3 stitches. 2, 3. And close the ring. And now we're going to reverse work to make the chain. So I'm reversing the work over, wrapping to make the chain, wrapping my ball thread around my left hand, and I'm going to use reverse order stitches for the chain so it matches from the front. And also I'm going to add or insert a magic loop because I really like magic loops. I do not like sewing my ends in, so I tend to use them a lot. So for the first one, it has to be inserted with the knot to the right. So I'm using reverse order stitches. I'm going to start with the first half, which is a second half, like this, and pull it really close. You don't want to insert your magic loop in the first half stitch. It makes it easier to pull your thread through at the end. I'm going to place it on top, and then the second half to complete the first stitch. So that's one stitch. And I have a video that shows how to use magic loops and how to keep a short end like this to help if it's in line with your core thread. It makes it easier than keeping it long. If you keep it short and in line with your core thread, hopefully you can just have it go straight through with your loop at the same time like this, and you don't need to pull it through with your hook. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, I can probably do all 7 really. 5, 6, 7. So that's the 7 stitches of the chain completed. Now I'm going to pull the end of my magic loop and just fold it out of the way. Should be behind here. That's it. Right, so that's our first, oh, it's twisted, first trefoil and the first chain completed. Pull them to the back and left like this, snug my stitches again, and then ready to make the next trefoil. So same as before, untwist my thread, 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and join to the last picot of the previous ring. Second half to complete the stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, and a picot, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and close the ring. Like so. And now we're making the larger ring of the trefoil. 3 stitches and join. 1, 2, 3, and join. And then 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a picot. 2, 3, 4, 5, and a picot, and 3 stitches. 2, 3. I just remember, that's why I stopped there. I just remembered I meant to put the jump ring in this ring, but that's okay. We can do it at the next trefoil. It is not important where you put it. And then another small ring. 3 stitches and join. 1, 2, 3, and join. 3 stitches. 2, 3, and a picot, and 3 stitches, and another picot, and 3 stitches to complete the ring. 2, 3, and close the ring. And reverse work, wrap for the chain, rewind my shuttle, and start with the second half because we're doing reverse order stitches on the chains. And pull it quite tight. I find that helps if you fold the little ring out of the way. That helps to make that first stitch really close. And that's the first stitch, a second half followed by a first half, and then we're making 6 more stitches, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull my chain snug, fold back the little ring, and reverse work. And we're starting on an extra foil. 3 stitches, 2, 3, and join to the last picot of the previous ring. 3 stitches, 2, 3, and a picot. 3 stitches, 2, 3, and a picot, and 3 stitches, 2, 3, and close the ring. And now we're making the center ring of the trefoil, and this time I must remember to put the jump ring in. 2, 3 stitches and join, 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is where we're going to put the jump ring. So I'm using these 5mm, they're soldered jump rings, so they're closed. I find that works better with thread, so there's no chance of your thread pulling through. So I'm going to place it on top here of my thread and hold it with my thumb on the edge, and then pull a loop through as for making a join. And when I'm adding a jump ring like this, I do start the next stitch with the first half, so the next stitch is a full stitch instead of when I'm making a join I complete it with the second half. And now I'm going to start with the first half and make another full 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a picot, and 3 stitches to complete this ring. 2, 3, and close the ring. Now you have your nice jump ring ready to attach it to your earring finding. So now we're going to do the last small ring of the trefoil. 1, 2, 3, and join. 1, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, and close the ring. Could even make a nice triangle actually if you wanted, like a little, that would look nice too, wouldn't it? Could have an earring like this, that would be nice as well. Reverse work, we're going to make the chain, wrap the ball thread around your left hand, and I'm going to fold all the top of this out of the way, make it easier to see what I'm doing, and also fold this little ring back like this for the first stitch. Wind back my shuttle, second half really tight and close, first half for the first stitch, and 6 more stitches, so 2, 3. Oh dear, my video cut off because I ran out of space on my phone to film. So I was at the 3rd stitch, I think, but I did finish this chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just doing my last stitch. So 7 stitches to the chain. And reverse work for the last trefoil. So 3 stitches, 2, 3, and join to the last picot of the previous ring. Oops. And 3 stitches, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, and close the ring. Now things start to get in the way a little bit while you work here when you're getting to the end of the trefoil, but you can always fold your work back like this to give yourself more space to work. So now we're going to make the larger ring. 1, 2, 3, and join. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a picot, and 3 stitches, 2, 3, and close the ring like this. And now it's the very last ring of our little diamond, and we have to join the first picot and the last picot. So 1, 2, 3, join to the last picot of the previous ring. 1, 2, 3, and a picot. 1, 2, 3. So we want to join to this picot here, which is the very first picot of the first ring. And you also want to make sure that both that your ball thread is behind, so make sure it's not falling at the front of your work, because you want to have both your threads on the same side of your work when you complete the join. So to make this join, I'm going to fold the work over like this. So this is from the front, so grab it and flip it over so that the picot you want here is on top. So I want to join to this one here, and I'm going to go from underneath and grab the thread that's around your left hand and pull it through like for a normal join. So it looks twisted now, but it will be not twisted when we unflip the work and after we've completed the ring. So that's the first half I've pulled through, and I'm completing with second half. That's the stitch and 2 more stitches, 2, 3, and close the ring. And see, you can see now I'm unfolding the work, and you can see that this picot here is straight and not twisted. And now we're going to do the very last chain. So reverse work. I'm going to fold this in 2 like this to have access to make the chain. Rewind my shuttle and make the last 7 stitches, into which I will insert a second magic loop. So I'm going to make the first 2 stitches. I'll put it all the way through. Okay, I'll do the same then. So now for the second magic loop, you want to insert it with the knot to the left. I'm putting it on top. I'm going to flatten it so I can have it laying against my core thread. So I had done my first half. second half for the first stitch. That's 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, if you can get the hang of this shorter end, it makes it quicker to insert the magic loop into your stitches. I also have another video that shows another way by using an extra loop as well attached to your shuttle or to your hand also, that helps insert magic loops. It can be a very useful technique too. I'll add the link to that video. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5. 6. And on the side that has no knot, you don't want to have the loop in the last half stitch. So that's 7. Pull it out of the way, and oh, the other one is this one. It's the first half. 7. Snug my stitches and cut the threads. And now we're going to use the hook to make the very last join from the back. So you want to make sure not to get tangled in all the things that are going on. So there's my first magic loop here. I'm going to pull them to the right, and there's a second magic loop, and I'm going to pull this one to the left so it's not in the way. I'm trying to make it possible for you to see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go with my hook and grab the core thread of the last chain and pull it through at the beginning, at our starting point, so below the first trefoil, like this. And I'm going to make the knot I always forget the name of. I always want to call it the flat knot because that's how we call it in French, un nœud plat. It's the left over right, right over left knot, like this. And pull it tight, but not too tight. So don't, because otherwise it pulls the stitches a little bit out of shape. Left over right. I'm going to hurry. Right over left. Like this. And now we're going to use our magic loops to pull the ends through. So there's the first one here. So I'm using the thread that's facing sort of in the direction of the magic loop. Push it through the loop, hanging on to it. And then I start pulling on my loop and make sure it's got the end caught in it. Yeah, like this. And then pull through, like so. And then you can just pull the end through, I think. Magic loop is in there. I'm making it look more complicated than it is, I assure you. And pull this through. So that's the first end hidden. And do the same thing on the other side. So that's my other end. Through the loop of the magic loop. I'm holding it on the other side, start pulling on my magic loop, make sure it's caught the thread, and then open it and pull through. And then pull the end. And then cut really close to your work. So there you have it. It'll benefit from being pressed and stiffened to make it keep the shape nicely. But there you have it, a nice diamond shape earring. I hope you enjoy making them. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.